Hi, my name is Maddie Morganson, and I'm going to be talking today about mental health and what it does to students and how can we help not only the students but the families and future educators that are going to become a teacher. So let's now talk about the students and how this affects them. So this affects a lot of students because this is what a lot of this generation is going into, and this is what a lot of them are turning to because they don't know how to deal with their emotions sometimes, which I think really makes it hard, especially from a young age, when there is some families that are told like just to keep it together, like we don't show emotion. So sometimes that has a role that plays into that, and it can make it hard for like students to want to talk about it to their teachers, their families, to friends, and overall like it makes it really tough on them, and it makes their wellness like go downhill real fast, and a lot of them start getting depression from this, and they start having suicidal thoughts, which end up in the long run sometimes they do end up committing suicide, which that is not what we want to happen. And I feel that this is a really good topic to talk about because this is something that we need to start lowering, and we need to make sure that not as many kids are trying to commit this, because at the end of the day it is a really sad thing and a very hard topic. So the second thing that I will be talking about is how it affects families and the schools. So first, it affects the families as them thinking that it is their fault when it's not. Sometimes this is just a really hard topic for a son, a daughter, a cousin, a student to talk about, and this is something that they don't want their parents to know because they don't want to put that burden on them, which makes it hard to open up to them. And when doing my research, I have like noticed that a lot of the people think that it's their fault, like the parents that think it's their fault because they should have noticed it because that's their kid. But in reality, that's not what it is. It's just they were really good at hiding it, and at the end of the day that they felt like that they couldn't handle it anymore, and that's what they ended up turning to. And for schools, this can also be real hard because for some classes, this is like their teachers are told, like the principals tell the teachers, like this is something that you might want to be like, they're not going to be in our class anymore. Sadly, like they passed away or something. I know that there is some teachers that do that, and then there's some that don't. I do also think it depends on the family. And another way that it does really make it hard for the families is that they have to go set up their funeral. They have to get them withdrawal from school and fill out all that paperwork, which it's really hard to go through that, knowing that when going through a hard time with a loss, that you mentally are not okay, and that is okay not to be okay. And I think a lot of people are like, well, I gotta keep it together. Like, I lost somebody that was really close to me, or I lost a kid, I lost a cousin, and like, I think it comes down to it being really hard overall, for the families, the friends, the schools, because especially if they're really involved, whether they really are involved or not, that is a student that went there. And I do feel like a lot of people do appreciate each student. So the third thing that I will be turning to talk about is, why is this so important for future educators to get a good understanding, and why is it so important for them to know the things? So the first thing about it is, being an educator, like, you need to go in, like, you don't need to have like a full understanding of how to take care of it and how to deal with it, but like if something was to happen, like, have a brief understanding of what you can do and how to help prevent it. And one of these things is that you can make a positive classroom, whether that is going over maybe every month, being like, okay, this is our rules, and just like a heads up reminder, like, this is what we don't do, this is not going to be tolerated in my classroom, any other classroom, or even in this school. And things that are being said do get brought back to the teachers, and to be mindful to what you do say to other people, because words can hurt and it's hard to take words back. Something else is something that I feel like should kind of be required, is having a training maybe for the teachers to sit down, get a good understanding, like have maybe some like little plays kind of, and like see what happened, like in this instant have this, and have some ways that you can go about it, whether it's inside the classroom, out on the playground, or something like that. So I have two key points that I had in my research, and I learned from the age to 6 to 17 there's mental health disorders, and at the age of 14 is when it's really starting to, like, you're noticing it, especially when it's happening to you. That's really when you start noticing it, and your mental health starts to go down a lot. And then there's a good 15% from the age 12 to 17 that have reported having mental health services at the school, and like 17% that have been seen by specialties. And like, it really just depends on the age that you are. Everybody is different. This can happen earlier, this can happen later. This is just like the main average of when it is happening to people. And for like the suicidal rate for mental health, that when it's going downhill, is the ages 10 to 34, that a lot of people are committing suicide because they are having a hard time figuring out their emotions, getting help, wanting to open up, and just having those dark thoughts in their mind, which overall does make it really hard. And this can, in a article, something else that I found, there is places that you can get help. There's stuff that as a teacher you can send home to your students to be like, hey, like, if this is something that's going on at home, that this and this and this you can go to, and you're not spending a whole bunch of money during this time. Because I know going to places, like, they can be expensive, especially therapy, and a lot of people turn away to that because, and especially like telling like their parents and like that, because they don't want them to worry, they don't want it to be like a financial burden on them, and it kind of just makes it hard overall because you don't know if you are doing the right thing or not. But yeah, so something that I found interesting was that having a positive classroom made it a lot better for the kids, that having daily affirmations saying, I'm amazing, I'm good, I'm smart, like putting that into the kid's head every day helped them and a lot, because they like it starts to get into your mind about it, and overall it really helps. And you can see the classrooms that don't have that positive of a classroom compared to the ones that do, and the ones that don't, you can start seeing the mental health disorders or depression start coming in, and darker thoughts coming through their brain sometimes. And that can even happen in the positive classrooms, but it's just a little bit less likely to. So I'm gonna put a personal experience in here. When I was younger, I still do have this medical disorder, but happening so young and kind of having to grow up being like, oh, you can't do this because of this and everything, it kind of makes it hard, and it puts a toll on your mental health. And I think being young, you don't know how to really handle that, which really makes it hard. And I remember telling my parents a lot when I was younger, like I didn't want to be alive, like I wanted to end it, and like I felt like a burden on them for telling them that, because like I didn't want them to think that, oh, I wanted to, like that was something that I was going to do and that they always had to worry about. But slowly, like we would talk, we'd have conversations, and I finally like slowly came out of it. I got around a lot of good people. I got myself involved into community stuff, and I think that did help a lot too also. So my takeaway from this is that to always be kind to whoever you're talking to, because, and this is like a little saying that I kind of live by, is don't judge a book by a cover, because we're not meant to walk in somebody's shoes that is that person's shoes, because they are learning through life and they're going through life and making those memories, and you never know what they are going through. And this can be someone that's also really close to you, that can be like your best friend or your cousin that you're really close to and you spend every other day with or every day with, and it makes it hard. So always be choiceful of what words you're using, so that you know it's not going to hurt them or make them have a little bit darker thoughts, because you never know. You could have a best friend that's going through something and one day they do end it, but you don't know the reason. You never knew that they had it. So always choose kindness over meanness, and always think before you talk also.